Hi everyone, it's Father Lamb, and today's Wednesday, April 2nd. Yesterday was April 1st, of course, my feast day, All Fool's Day. And in our diocese, they do something really cool. They pray for a different priest every day, and it randomly falls on different days. I don't really follow it too closely, but someone told me that yesterday the diocese and people in the diocese prayed for me on April 1st. Very, very appropriate, huh? So we had a beautiful, powerful parish mission over at BVM. Those of you who took advantage of it, you know what I'm talking about. Steve Aguzano really has a gift of music, a gift of preaching, storytelling. Is really funny. He was engaging, and it was really an uplifting time. He took me by surprise the first night. He invited me up for a little dance that we did. Oh my Lord. How do you say no, right? But here's the thing, someone posted it, I guess, at BVM and on their Facebook page or on the web page, I guess. But anyway, you give these talks or give a homily, and maybe 200 or 300 people, view it, which is great, But this thing with the dancing was like 1,200 views, You do these talks, and a few people get involved. You do a dance, and everybody's involved, right? It's kind of weird. It reminded me of my friend Bishop David Thompson, God rest his soul. He's a bishop down south in one of the Carolinas, and he was the pastor, the rector of our cathedral back in the 70s and 80s. And when I was a deacon there, he was my pastor, and he taught me a lot. And he was also an avid golfer. So I just remember him telling me one time he had the luck of having 2 holes in one in his life, not one, but 2. I just remember him telling me, he had more people react to his holes in one than any talk or any homily or anything he did as a priest. That somehow we get involved in the things that are just on the periphery, right? So that's the same thing with Lent. Sometimes with Lent, we can stay on the periphery. What's your Lent been like? Maybe you had a wonderful Lent, a lot of things are clicking, or maybe your Lent has been absolutely horrible. A lot of things are happening. And no matter what's happening, good, bad, or indifferent, you can always begin over again. 2 weeks from right now, okay, we'll be right in the middle of Holy Week. Tomorrow will be Holy Thursday, say. We're going to enter right into that triduum, the holy time. So even if your Lent's been horrible, enter into this time. When we give up and say, oh, Lent's been terrible, forget about it, the devil loves that. So enter into it no matter what your Lent has been like. And so often in Lent, and rightly so, we do certain things, we give up certain things, but the action's on us. And that's fine and good and appropriate. But sometimes in our spiritual life, it's not so much what we're doing. It's what God does in us, what God wants to do in us, that we open up our hearts to Him. So maybe we can kind of like shift that around these last couple weeks of not so much focusing on what am I doing, what am I giving up. And I think sometimes when we're doing those things, it can enter in subtly. But what can happen is we can begin to think that we're trying to earn God's love. I do these things, God will like me. If I do these things, God will be pleased. Now, we are to please God, absolutely. But His love is free, and we can't earn it, and we don't earn it. And He loves us before we love Him. It's only because of His love for us that we're able to respond and love Him in return. So as we turn the tables a little bit, get a sense of God wanting to do something in your life, and just let Him do it. Just open up your heart. Allow His sacred heart into your heart. Have a heart-to-heart conversation with Jesus, wherever you are, honestly. Where's your heart today? You're experiencing a wounded heart, a lonely heart, a broken heart. We all have different times of what we're going through in our lives. And there's a lot of things happening in life. Your friends may be sick and ill and going through different things, and that affects you, and your heart's affected by that, and it can affect your Lent. So let's give Jesus a chance to come into our hearts. Let His sacred heart into your heart. Allow that connection to happen heart to heart, and just open yourself up to that. And then as that happens, and give it time, it takes silence, it takes discipline, it takes, like Psalm 46, be still and know that I am God. And sometimes we got to say that over and over again until we begin to relax and allow that peace in. Be still and know that I am God. There's a God, and we're not He, we're not Him, right? And we need to let go of that sense of trying to control everything. Because the truth is, everything you and I think we're controlling, we're not controlling. It's an illusion. We're in control of very little. We're in control of our own free will to open up our heart to God. That's what we can do. So for the next couple weeks, let's try it a little bit differently. And instead of trying to do all the work, let's sit back and be still and let Jesus' heart into our heart. And then, in sitting in that silence and in that stillness, if something comes up that you need to do, that very well may be of God's will. Well, by all means, go and do that. And it might be something on a deeper inner plane, a lack of forgiveness that's there, or a lack of love that's there, or something that we just need to let go of that's in our heart. Or maybe it's just some kind of self-hatred that you're holding on to. We need to let go of that. That's the deeper stuff that God wants to get at. Have a heart-to-heart talk with Jesus. Sit still with him and see what he says from his sacred heart to your heart. God bless you.